All right. Hello, hello. Good evening. How's it going? Let's see. Who's here? ODM, hello. Nine Walker, hello. How you two doing? Good to see you guys. $56 months? Whoa. ODM, how do you get alerts every time I stream? I feel like the months pass so fast. Already 56? Wow. I swear, I feel like every time I stream there's a new alert from you. And I'm like, whoa, another month already? No way. That's crazy. Funzy, hello. Baron Lenya. Frank the Third, hello. But yeah, ODM is an OG for sure. Oh, I missed a few of the past ones. Oh, so they like stack and give them to you, sort of like in order. Oh, that's kind of neat. I actually thought that if you like missed it, it would just kind of like skip it for that month or whatever. Oh, that's neat. I didn't know that. I learned something new today. Okay. So tonight, we are building a cool new board, coming up through one of the previous designers for Smith & Rune. His name is Lbaron. He now operates under Baron boards, and the board is called the BP1. And the BP1 is this sort of car-inspired keyboard. I would say among the ones that I've seen, it's probably the one that really does look like a car a lot. So it's inspired by the McLaren P1, and so I can show you guys what that looks like. So I actually have couple of units here. I will only be building one. It's just a color choice. Smith & Rune weren't their own designers. No, they were. But Luke, they eventually parted ways. So Smith & Rune, you know, there are two designers working together, and then one of them, you know, they parted ways. One of them stayed with the Smith & Rune brand, and one of them went off to do their own thing, and this is Lbaron's endeavor as Baron boards. And so kind of neat, because in a way it's like you kind of learned everything that you did before, and now you're kind of like taking a new direction, right? So that's kind of like cool part of it. Yo, Uter, hello. Did Yuzi do fulfillment of that 65 on your desk? I forget what it's called. It's called the Exent. This one I did not get from Yuzi. This one I actually purchased, but I do believe Yuzi did fulfillment on these. So this is the Exent by Taro. Taro stood for TGR, Iconic, Rama, and Originative. It was this kind of like 4-brand collaborative design. It was initially like a big RamaWorks design called the M. Is it M50? I'm not sure what it was called. It was no, it had a different name. It was not M something series. It was something else. It had a different name, and then it got kind of like roped into this big collaboration between Hoahenza from Iconic and Originative, and you'd see TGR also got roped in parts of the design. And so yeah, it was this kind of like this collaborative design. The whole like Geek Hack thread is I mean, the whole thread on this is on Keycaps. You can check it out. It's called the Exent, E-X-E-N-T. E-X-E-N-T, sorry. But yeah. We were still good friends. Me and Vox from Smith and Rune just want creative freedom to do some crazy designs. Yes, so this is kind of exactly what that is about. And so I got 2 units here. One of them in a different color from the other. So let's just check those out. And here I have a set of a PCB, a plate, and mounting materials, as well as just a standard daughter board. For the PCB, we're going to be using just a generic TKL PCB. This is the Bastion TKL PCB from Canon Keys, but this basically is to say that you can use any kind of TKL PCB that supports this sort of like daughter board system, and so it doesn't have to be the Bastion, it can be other ones. And I believe Luca, you'll be working on kind of on your own, or are you going to be producing it through somebody? But basically there can be, you know, you can use any PCB. If you happen to have PCBs yourself, then you know you can always use your own. So here's the first unit. It looks pretty bright. It's like a what is it, what do you call it, papaya orange, I think. Or something like that. Look at this color. It looks pretty yellow on the camera. It's kind of hard to explain this color. It's orange yellow. It actually does look yellow on the camera, doesn't it? So let me see if maybe it's just too bright. I think I might just be overexposed here. But yeah, it's sort of like this yellow orange tone. It definitely looks very yellow on camera, actually. It's kind of bothering me now. But it definitely looks more orange. Maybe from the side cam it looks a little bit more orange. But it's kind of subtle. Oh yeah, that looks more orange. I think it's just the overexposed nature of the top-down view with the big light that I have. Yeah, there you go. There's the orange. Sorry that it looks kind of yellow on the other one. I probably need to adjust a bit more. But yeah, it's that like yellowy orange, sort of like very bright orange tone, but super nice color. I think Luke can possibly clarify about the application of this, but I think this is E-coat. And yeah, so we have that, and then I think these are wrist rests. Yeah, so you have a wrist rest here as well. So I'll sort of just unpack all of these. That it's kind of like matched in the same color. Whoop, there you go. So we have a little like front wrist rest here, also in this like papaya orange and black. Pretty neat. Has these little what looks like polycarb inserts. Really cool. Okay, so I need to make space for each of these. So there's quite a few things. I obviously chose the Warriors board to have on the desk because it's so large and I can't really move it. Maybe I'll just let me do this on the top down for now. But basically here, board and wrist rest, number 1. Okay, it is a little bit underexposed now. There, I think that's better. And then board number 2 comes in nice kind of grass toad green. This one does show better because the camera is struggling a little bit more with the other one color wise. This one's called Mantis Green. And so also unpacking the wrist rests over here. So similarly, you get a black base, you get a green top, get those cool polycarb inserts, and then it just sort of matches up like that. It's a very green, so kind of like a grass green almost. Very, very green. Like you look at it and you're like, well, that's just so green. So both colors are like extremely vibrant, as you can tell. So very, very bright. And so yeah, we have two keyboards that are like super bright in color. And we are gonna be building just one of them, but you know, just to kind of show you what they both look like. So there you have it. Yeah, there's like barely space on the desk to do this, but yeah. So that's what the board looks like from the top. I'll go ahead and show you the board from the other angles. So let's kind of you know, that's the top, right? Has a black bottom, so it's all aluminum here. That's the side profile. So the side profile really does look very car-like, like that. Very cool. Yeah, so that's the side profile. So what I'm noticing here is that the wrist rest kind of like has, you know, this overarching portion that basically matches the top side of the front of the board, and so it kind of like clutches onto the front part like that. So kind of pieces together like that. But you know, super cool. Okay, I'm just gonna put that down for a sec. And then here's the back. So the back is lined with some very nice carbon fiber. We have a center USB port over there. And so we get some carbon fiber lining the back portion of the board. So that's sort of the rear end of that. So you do get some of that carbon fiber. And we get these parts over here, and we get a little carbon fiber accent as well for the logo. It's a little dusty. But we get some carbon fiber for the logo. But yeah, really, really neat. So kind of, you can see that it's actually cut out over here, so there is actually space between the two parts. But a very intricate design. It really is kind of out of the norm shape-wise, while still looking like a keyboard. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's what that looks like. Let's just be careful and put that down. And you know, the green unit is effectively the same, right? So you get that carbon fiber in the back, the rear portion, as well as the bottom for that extra car-like flair, and we have a very green colorway for the case. And so I actually am not super decided as to how to do the as to deciding on which color to use. Initially I had a hunch that I wanted to do the papaya orange, my bad, but I'm seeing the green one. I'm also thinking like, well, that's really green, and I kind of like it, just because it's very unique. But I don't mind if you guys want to put an opinion in. So we can do either or. Decide by a set you're going to pair with. A set that I'm going to pair with. What set would I pair with the green? I mean, this green is very green. I feel like it needs to be balanced out by some neutrals. So I guess like if you want to do green with green sort of thing, like there's like camping, I guess, that sort of works because it uses all the cream to diffuse with some of that neutral tone. But I'm not sure. It might just still end up feeling too green. GMK Carbon, I feel like the orange on Carbon is kind of darker. It's like kind of like my t-shirt. My t-shirt is orange, right? And that orange is a little bit more like Carbon, right? Like you guys remember the Bias DE, right? That one's orange was a lot closer to Carbon's orange than this one would be. This one though, it would still work nicely though, because you get a lot of that gray, that like warm colored like alpha and the gray as well, complementing the orange tone on this one. So yeah, that one would go nicely with Carbon. But yeah, you've had orange boards recently. Yeah, that's true. I've had kind of a mix of both, but yeah, recently I've been building more orange than not for whatever reason. Just kind of turned out that way. Do you have Sky Dolch? So I have, you know, the Sky Dolch that had red Sub Legends 9. I have that Sky Dolch, the one with the Korean Sub Legends that were like pat printed, I think. I have that Sky Dolch. I got that like because I think Originative was like having like some sort of like clear out sale, something like that. Yeah. Do you like that idea too? Green. Recently, I say the Synovia was 3 months ago already? Oh yeah, it was 3 months ago, huh? Man, time does really fly these days. Okay, maybe I'll drop a poll in the chat for now. You guys can help me pick. Plate-wise, I have only aluminum plates, so let's talk about the plate in just a second. Let's call this papaya orange, mantis green. And you guys can vote. For switches, I was sent these MX Black clear top switches. These are Nixies. I was sent them in this very interesting contraption. I'm assuming this is, I don't know, is this for break-in? Is this why this is shaped this way? But either way, I was sent them in this contraption that kind of like is 3D printed, and you can like unscrew like this, and then you just take out each switch like that. Kind of neat. It's kind of neat though. It's a neat way to have switches. I mean, maybe I'll just leave it undone. Oh no, the Enigma. Yes, it's like a cipher. Okay, so we can talk about the mounting of this. So you can open up the Keycaps thread if you would like, but basically the mounting system of this board is modular and very interesting. So here is the plate. And this plate has no mounting points in terms of fixed mounting points with like tabs, and so you kind of end up with these kind of spokes that line the top and the bottom of the plate like this. And what's sort of interesting about this mounting of this particular plate, this is an aluminum plate, is that you can use different components to basically create the mounting yourself. And so you know, we have, I believe this is solid, looks like solid palm, and then we have PLA, I think this is like 3D printed PLA, I think, with an O-ring on the inside, so you get some dampening over there. So I believe those are the two here, and then over here we get different blocks. We get the sort of wing, or like kind of like X wing sort of shaped blocks that you can use to kind of get that extra spring, extra bounce. And then we have these gasket strip adhered ones as well. And these just have like 2 gasket strips kind of lining the top and the bottom. And so what's kind of interesting about this particular plate is that it's modular and customizable exactly the way you want it to do it. Like, so you can decide, let's say I want my first mounting point here, and you literally just put in the little block, and that's it. And you know, you want to put in a different block somewhere else, then you can do that. You put it somewhere else where it fits, right? So like you put it here. You maybe want to put this one over here, right? And so the reason why this is sort of like this X shape is so that it avoids the other ones, but basically it creates this like springiness here. But you know, essentially you can customize the mounting of the plate yourself entirely, both the position as well as the material choice, as well as whether you want something springy, something cushioned, something rigid, you name it. And so it's really cool. I think this is like a really neat idea that kind of goes further in the way of customizing kind of like what you want for your plate. And because, you know, it's a TKL, right, you get quite a lot of choices in terms of where to put it, what materials to use, whether you want to be consistent throughout or whether you want to be kind of like really out of the box and just kind of do something springy on one end and not on the other. So it might be kind of uneven, might not feel great, but you get to play around is really the bottom line of this. And I think that's really, really cool. So that's pretty unique. It's very modular. So you get many different options. So you kind of can have like something that's like solid, something that has like an O-ring for a little bit more flexibility. Then you get gaskets. Then you get this leaf spring type of mount, and so you can mix and match however you want, and you get endless number of combinations. And so it's super cool. So yeah, we can experiment a bit today. We can play around. We can kind of try some tried and true kind of methods as well. But yeah, that's sort of what's interesting about this particular keyboard here, is that the mounting system is completely modular and to your taste in terms of what you might want to do. And so I drafted some ideas just based on other plates that we've seen in the past. And just for that, like I just kind of was like, okay, I just want to know the general position of those particular mounting points. But you know, like for top mount, right, like that you kind of know that some of the mounting points are in specific locations, because you can just look at the plate file, or you can just look at the plate and you can see that, you know, there's like a mounting point here and one here and like one here and one here, or you know, like 8 points or 7 points or 10 points you can choose. And then you can choose like the material that you want to use. So yeah, that's sort of the gist of it. Okay, so oh, did the poll ended on papaya orange? Do we want to do orange or do we want to do green? I'm actually kind of torn, but I don't know, green or orange, green or orange, green or orange, green or orange. I'm torn. This green is so green. This orange is so bright and interesting too. I'm very torn. Logic says orange, the heart says green. Yes, I'm like equally torn. I kind of want to go green because yeah, like as Funzy said, I have built some orange lately, but this orange is different from all the other oranges I've seen before. So fine. I think I am a little bit oranged out as of the past few. So let's try green today. I know that the vote went orange, but I do want to try and see what the green ends up looking like with keycaps and everything. So let's try green. So I'm just gonna put this away for a sec. All right, let's do green. I really have no particular, like, no strong opinions on it, but I do think that, I mean, either choice is good. So they're both very, like, different, unique colors. Okay, let's try this very green. It's like a grass green. Let's just try it out. Okay, so let's put this rest to a side for now. I'll leave it aside. Got our PCB here. Okay, so I guess I can also unscrew this case to show you what the interior looks like. So, as Lbaron just said, we have 4 case screws. We have an M2.5 screw here on each corner. Oh, whoa. Oh, they're like these screws. Look at that. Haven't seen these screws outside of, like, work stuff. Okay. Oh, God. These screws are not coming off, but I think they are unscrewed now. So, all right. So there it is. Manufacturer forgot to include the little bridge that goes over the DB, so I had to 3D print it. A little bridge. Oh, I see. That's fine. That's fair. You're just talking about this part here, right? Yeah, that's nice. That's all right. So, you know, what's kind of neat about this is the plate, right? I take the plate and, you know, basically it's going to be mounted on top like this. Obviously right now nothing on it, so it just kind of fell flat onto the case. But, you know, you can put, so, you know, let's say I just want to do these solid blocks. So the idea is, you know, I can put a block here. I'll just do this sort of like willy-nilly because just to sort of like just to show like how it would be like mounted. It's just kind of like evenly-ish spreading them out. Right, so you can like do something like that, right? And you know, you would just kind of like place them over, like place a plate on top of the frame like this, and so that you know, it becomes its own like little mounting, and it gets lined up with the rest of the case, and it gets closed, right? So that's sort of the general idea of the board, is that you can choose where to put your mounting spots, and you can choose the exact type of mounting that you want to use. So I'm just gonna take these off for now. That Exent is such a throwback. Yeah, I was just kind of feeling like using it. Haven't used it in a long time, so okay, I'm gonna separate some of these blocks. So we have the solid blocks here. Then we have our O-ring blocks in orange here. And then I guess I can just use this other tray here. And here I'm gonna put the gaskets and the leaf springs. Gaskets and leaf springs. Okay. Didn't lose any. These are just supports for the plate on the side for alignment. I'll leave those aside for now. So this board is really cool looking. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Just in general, I feel like it's just pretty different. So I like it. Alrighty. Let's brand new PCB. Okay, let's open it up. When you use the O-ring blocks, make sure the slot is vertical so that there can be the up and down travel. Yes. So the slot is vertical. Oh, okay, yeah. So like right here. Okay, got it. That makes sense. Do you get GMK exempt? No, I did not get GMK exempt. I hated the compatibility, so I was not very keen on having that. Okay, stabs. So you can't blame me if you don't like how it feels because you built it that way. This is true. that is true. I built it a certain way, and then I can only blame myself, right? So if I just build it the vanilla like cookie cutter formula, then it's good, right? Okay, we have our stabs. I mean, it doesn't matter because it's so easy to change it up. So if you don't like it, just go back and redo it. Alright. Let's go ahead and just get our... Whoop. Oopsie. Just dropped a piece of stab. Okay, let's lube these stabs up. I think a board like this would benefit from a fastening system like what Matrix have used with the hinges. Fair, yeah. That's actually yeah, that's like pretty interesting, yeah. Yeah, I could see how it would be like much easier to like go back and forth, right? If you have to like change things up often. Exant compat is trash. I used other mods instead. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Didn't even have step caps if I recall correctly, right? Do you get GMK gray on black? I do have GMK gray on black, yeah. But I bought it after the buy. I did not buy it during the group buy. Anyway, how are you all guys doing? It's been such a crazy week at work. I have like so many things going on this coming week and next. It's actually insane. But alas, here we are. Probably gonna be doing work this weekend. It is also Kiwi's birthday today, but he's not here. He's still at his what I like to call his vacation home. But I believe he's being treated some good food. Hey, Mikey Digit! Hey yo, ¿qué tal? How are you, mate? I'm doing alright, man. How are you? I've thought about trying to create a stealth camo combining gray and black, stealth blackout, and noir or something. Oh, that could be nice. I actually don't know what GMK Stealth looks like IRL, but yeah. You also have like what Mictlan Noche Negra, which also has like black with the gray alphas, right? I feel old that I used to get Zeal stabs in like 2018, just never found a better one, so stop looking. I mean, well, you know, I think the bottom line for stabs is if it works for you, that's where you that's what you keep using, right? Like some people say like, oh, they hate TX stabs because of like what, like they bottom out or something, or they can't get them to feel right and stuff like that. They've worked fine for me, so I just kind of kept using them. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just whatever works for you. So if Zeal stabs have worked for you, which they have for some people I know as well, then that's it. You just have your Eureka moment, and then you're like, okay, I'm done. Mictlan is similar to Stealth. Gray and black is lighter. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, the gray is lighter probably for extra contrast, huh? Stealth alphas are indistinguishable from Exent and Noche Negra. Huh. Okay. Good to know. I don't really believe in the whole like better stabs, worse stabs thing as much as I think it's like, well, actually, well, I guess it depends, right? Stabs can be a hassle if you don't know how to tune them, right? So I guess like practice makes perfect is sort of like the thing. But it is true, like cherry stabs can be really finicky to get right. Like from both from first-hand experience as well as a lot of anecdotes, right? I do think, right, like now it's like I would recommend what, like there's Type Plus stabs, there's TX stabs, there's Night V, what are they on now? V3 stabs. What have I not mentioned? Some people really like their Cherry and C3 combo. I haven't had that work that well personally, but yeah. Mostly because I felt like the C3 wires were not as good. But maybe that was just me, or the batch I was using. I'm exhausted doing some NOS for GMK, busy with renders too. I mean, that's work is work, but it's good to have work around to do, right? So that's good. It's good to be busy at least, especially in this current le crazy economy, if existent. Do you want to see a sneak peek? Sure. You can show us. Or show me if you don't want to show other people. I forget which board It was at a meetup I went to recently where it was just ball joint that push into a receiver instead of screws. There's a few of the ball joint ones now, right? Like the TKD boards, like the Cycle 7, Cycle 8 do that. The Neo boards do that, I think. Like Neo 80 did that, if I recall correctly. There's a few of the other ones that also have the ball catch. It's a cool mechanism. It does work. Although in some cases I feel like you benefit from doing screws because maybe you want like a more even press against everything. And with screws you can kind of get that just right. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the difference is huge or if there's a benefit to one or the other. It's just a sort of perception it gives me. Español muy fácil, ¿dónde está la biblioteca? Yes. I speak like I'm 2 years old, read like I'm 3 years old, and can listen to it if you talk slower than slow. That's yeah, so I recently went to Korea, Japan and Korea for travel slash the Korea Seoul meetup. And they asked me to participate at this artisan keycap like makers panel, like to help them like sort of translate some of this stuff. And I felt so bad for anyone who had to listen to my Korean because it was fucking awful. It was straight up a toddler's, like, it was bad. I was like, I'm so sorry. They should have asked like a pro to do this, not me. Yeah, they scored. Okay. Oh, cool. Wait, what's that? Wait, I think I've seen a sneak peek of this before. Mikey. But Mikey, why did you? I'll just type it. I don't want to expose you in front of everyone. No one else knew Korean at the meet. No. It was that I had to say things in Korean, and I'm not sure if they were as comprehensible. But I think more specifically, it was that they wanted me to help with specific like artisan related stuff. And I guess they found it sufficient to use me as the Korean speaker to help translate some of that stuff. There was a guy who was helping KLC, my bad, for some of the English speaking for some of this stuff, and I feel like he could have helped more. But yeah, for that artisan panel, I ended up doing it, and it was like kind of hard. Like in the movies, when people just talk slower in the same language that helps them with Spanish, my brain is basically translating words one by one. That's fair. And that's normal learning languages, though. You have to like just continuously get exposed to it. Like there's no easy way to learning a language. You just have to like you learn it by immersion, and then you have to supplement it constantly with like actually looking things up, or like learning word by word what things are, or like phrases that people teach you, idioms, slang, and a bunch of other stuff. There's no easy way. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I have no clue how I'd learn another language nowadays. I don't even know how I learned English. Yeah. Right. I had a much thicker accent when it came to doing English, and now it's like a lot better. But like, yeah, I also sometimes think to myself, I don't know how I actually did it. It's just you just keep doing it until it kind of gets better. Yeah, you force exposure and you get it. Yeah, at some point it just starts clicking more. You make mistakes. A lot of them. But that's very cool, Mikey, what you showed me. It's cool stuff. Very exciting. Hope your set goes well, or the set that you're working on. Okay, let's try these stabs. Put them on. Try it out. Okay, so okay, let's put these on. Where's those stab screws? How went the blue alert? Blue alert was pretty good. I actually thought it was gonna do much worse. Blue alert went better than I was hoping. But also blue alert, I feel like blue alert ran at a decent time. Like timing was not bad for blue alert. It did okay. Like it went well enough, like naturally, and then people, like some of the vendors bought like a good, like, you know, number of extras. Not a huge number, but like a good number. I think it went pretty well. Like I was expecting, like, oh, it's gonna be harder to hit MOQ, stuff like that. But it hit MOQ naturally okay. So I was grateful for that. I think for me, as long as it hit MOQ, it was good enough. I was never like, oh, it like has to hit certain benchmarks and whatnot. It was just, as long as it hit MOQ, it was good enough for me. Then again, you know, now it's a little different, right? With GMK stuff. Like right now, I think with the whole tariff situation, like I do wonder if we will really see a big dip in like North American sales, because now you have people who are reluctant to go. You know, first of all, the like going into group buys in general, like there's people who are reluctant about it already. But and then I think now you kind of get like on top of that, I think now you kind of have like people who will not enter even less because of like the whole tariff situation, right? And so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. How do you see orange sets now? Orange sets. Orange sets. I mean, it sort of depends, I guess. I feel like when it comes to orange is a color that not everybody loves, I would say. Like I can't help but think that orange is still a niche color, and there's only there's only so many people that really want an orange colored set. No matter in what capacity they are, like no matter whether the orange is on the legend or whether it's like in an accent, or like, you know, like the inclusion of orange is not like the easiest color to deal with, to be honest. Like carbon, I feel like built a reputation over the years. Ski data, for example, is a simple enough set. Like it's just dark gray and orange, right? So it's just a simple enough color scheme that just kind of works. Not to mention it's kind of like inspired by something that does exist already. So, but for example, let's look at sets that have a good amount of orange, but like the performance of the set kind of varied a lot. GMK Yuri is a good one. Is a good example of that. Like I feel like GMK Yuri had its popular phase in the first time it ran, and the second time I feel like it, like because it also stayed in stock for a bit, people were not like super keen on GMK Yuri. But I think GMK Yuri is like a pretty underrated set, right? GMK Yuri is a good one. What other ones? GMK what's that called? GMK Kaiju. GMK Kaiju is an interesting set as well to think about when you think of orange sets. It's one of those sets that does use quite a bit of orange because all the legends are orange, and and then there's accents that are orange, right? So the use of orange is pretty prevalent on that, but I feel like because it's like mixed with green and this like kind of like white color, right? It's kind of hard to work with in some ways, right? So yeah, it's orange is a difficult color overall in my opinion. Like I think it's not like the easiest color to work with. That said, I think it needs to be executed in a tasteful way where like you're not doing too much orange, but you're also not skimping too much on it. I think it works better on accents, but like we have seen sets that have a majority orange that doesn't work pretty well. So yeah, I don't know. It kind of it really depends. GMK Flare and GMK Orangey. I like GMK Coral is interesting because Coral is like orange tone disguised with this whole idea of a coral color. So now you kind of get this mix of like, is it really orange or is it not? But when you see it in real life, it's basically orange, you know? And it's like this kind of like mixed like look of orange, and so yeah, it's always orange with other colors. It's always it's complicated is what I could say for how to describe it. It's just a complicated thing. But I would say it's not an easy color. Like it's not your neutral color. It's not gray and blue, and I mean blue is not neutral, but you know, it's like an easier color to work with, I think. Yeah. I think another color that tends to also have this sort of like complicated thing is green. Sometimes a lot of green sets, but then like not all green sets are great kind of thing. Red, especially like a very vibrant red. Like I would say, what was that GMK set that ran with Kanekis that was really red and like it was like red and like it was like the theme was like fire. What was that? What set was that? Shit, don't remember for some reason. Red Devils? No. It was like sear my eyes red on like a gray or black or gray. It was not Slasher. What was that set? Crap, I forgot. But there was a one set that was like very red and like not the base color was like gray, I think, if I recall correctly. What the heck is that round cylinder thing? I personally am not 100% sure if the purpose of it is just to store switches or if it's to break in switches, but it's like this 3D printed contraption that's currently holding the switches. Are these cherry stock springs, Luke? Are you a heavy spring user, or are these springs swapped? I'm actually not sure. They don't feel that heavy actually. I don't know what they are though. Maybe it's kind of skewed because I'm only pressing one at a time. Stock Nixie springs? Oh, okay, so they are stock springs. Okay. They sound a little interesting. Stock cherry springs are always a bit of a hit or miss. Some people seem to say that they like stock MX Browns, which is interesting. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of any cherry MX springs stock. Lubed or not, they're just kind of inconsistent to me. But yeah, the springs are definitely lubed, that's for sure. I can tell they're not crunchy like when they're completely dry. This is win keyless, okay. All right, let's just try the stabs first. Make sure they're not like they're not rattly or anything. Best orange set that failed GB was GMK Doom. I don't even know what that is actually. Now I'm curious. I'm gonna look it up real quick. GMK Doom. Did you say orange? Where's the? There's one orange key. What? What the fuck? I was like, what? GMK Doom? Never heard of that as being an orange set. Oh my god. Okay. That's a good one. Alright. Wasn't there a black set with P and H in orange? GMK was it GMK Incognito? Was that Dr. Who's set? DCS Incognito, formerly GMK Incognito. That was a funny set. I thought that the execution of that idea was pretty well done. I still hear some spring noise in this, but the stabs themselves are not rattly. I'm not sure if it's audible for you guys though. It's very slight. Okay, the stabs are fine. Let's keep going. You have PVT Incognito in Eloquent. Oh. Eloquent clicks? Is that the Spanish vendor? PVT, so like a counterfeit sort of thing, or like a, you know, inspired set. It's just a black on gray set. Oh, that's kind of not the same, yeah. The base kit render has the spirit of GMK Incognito, not the keycaps though. Boo. It's a bummer. I have to say this cylindrical contraption is kind of useful because it keeps the switches organized as I take them. What the hell is that switch contraption? I have no idea. It's a 3D printed cylinder with rails, which my first assumption was, is it for switch break-in? Because, you know, you would just kind of rotate it, right? And it would like press the switches, I assume, but I don't know. It was sent to me as is. Nixie Death Wheel. Is that a new switch holder thing? I have no idea. But I mean, it's kind of cool, isn't it? it brings the questions in. Plastic Bits wants to guide the raid to Plastic Bits. What kind of self promo is that? That's some shameless self promo. Are you actually streaming Plastic Bits? They are pre-ordering the raid. All right. Switches are on. Let's solder them up. The rate should arrive with tariffs. It's gonna be a while. 125%, my friend. You gotta pay up. What's the current meta? Huh? Enter the portal. Oh no, we will be taken to Brazil. I mean, I don't think I would mind going to Brazil, to be honest, but even Brazil has it better now. To be honest, I don't know. I think it's pretty bad there too still, but yeah. Isn't Brazil humid as fuck? I mean, so is New York in the summer. It's safe depending on location. Yeah, I figure it's a huge country, so it probably depends where you are. Alrighty. What are these songs? What's this rap? Oh wow, that's a Changjin song? That's crazy. My Unicorn R 2.2 copper got multiple stains in a month. Old style K-rap? Yeah, for real. Like actual old school K-rap. Crap. It's not crap though. My humidifier made my corn weight so ugly too. Oh really? Oh damn. That makes me curious what my copper weight looks like on that. I think it might still be okay. I have a few stains, but probably not super bad. I also run a humidifier in the winter, so yeah, I do wonder if some of my some of the weights for some of my stuff also have like stains randomly from that. Are the colors for this board TBD? I really hope they're silver to match my British racing green. Not my question to answer. Board color is orange, green, and all black. Okay. So papaya orange, mantis green, and murdered out black. All black. I guess no silver then, for now. Let me see. What kind of humidifier do we have? We have an evaporative one, I think, because we have the evaporative is the one that has like a wick, right? And the wick gets wet, and then there's just like a fan blowing on it. I think that's what we have. We prefer using those. What kind of mounting style is this board? This board is DIY mounting style is what I would call it. But like there's, yeah, you can kind of do it however you like to. I've never used a humidifier in my life. I'm blessed. I mean, so the reason I use it is because when it's too dry in the winter, you keep shocking things, and it also just kind of feels like crappy on like the skin. Like skin gets all like dry and stuff, and you're like, you know, if you're sensitive to it, you can also feel like your nostrils, like you can get like feel like weirdly congested or not congested and things like that. So it kind of sucks when it's too dry in the winter. So we use it because it's just better to have it. And honestly, it costs nothing to use one. It's so easy. Like, wow, I have to flip my like the humidifier wick like every time I refill it or whatever. It's like it takes like nothing. Bloody nose in the winter? Yeah. Yeah, that's real. I sometimes do too if it's too dry. Not that often, but yeah, it does happen. Hello, Lamp. How are you doing? I'm looking at humidifiers now. I can show you which one I have that we've been enjoying using. Forget, was it a Honeywell branded one? Actually, I don't remember what the brand was. Let me check. Yeah, we use a Honeywell Cool Moisture Humidifier. That one's it's pretty good. We just use that for like one of the rooms. The Levoit ones are pretty solid too. Yeah, a lot of people talk good things about the Levoit ones. Also, holy shit, is that an Exent? Yes, it is an Exent. I've had it for quite some time. I'm good. I just ate Hainanese chicken and egg rolls. Ooh, that sounds so yummy. Okay, today I had tacos, and I was so disappointed. Not in the tacos, by the way. I was not disappointed about the tacos. I was disappointed that they went up in price. It was time to pay, and they told me it was $3 more that I had to pay, and it was $5 each. I was still like, you know, like at $4 I was like, oh, occasionally I'll like pick up like 3 tacos if I really want to, and I was having a massive craving for them today because I had it's been a kind of long week at work, and I came out of work kind of late. And then, you know, I was like on the way back, and I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna grab some tacos because I'm kind of craving some tacos, and I haven't had them in a while, in a long time. And I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to the taco truck where it's like $4 a taco at this particular truck. And I was like, well, you know, it's still pricey. Like it's still $4 a taco, man. Like it's still quite a bit. And I went, and then I was like, oh, you know, give me a taco al pastor, give me a bistec, and give me a chorizo, right? Like give me one of each of these that I like, and got like 3 tacos, and I was like, oh, you know, it's gonna be $12. And then it was fucking 15, and I was like, what? And I was like, oh, price went up, and she was like, yeah, you know how it is. I was like, well, I can't say no to that, I guess. I mean, I know how it is. It sucks. It sucks for everybody. Not even a bundle discount. I mean, sometimes they treat me well, and they'll like give me some freebies and things like that. But you know, this time I was like, I just felt bad, so I was like, okay, sounds good. But I was internally I was disappointed. I was like, oh shit, they cost more. They cost an extra $1 each. Now it's really not as likely that I'll have them. Like I rarely go out to eat, you know. Like I mean, like outside of like travel, like we try to eat at home a lot. But yeah, it's like lately I've just felt like it's like I go out and it's so easy to spend like money on food so easily, right? And it's like gets pricey pretty fast. But you know, it's fine. Let's treat yourself. I was just internally like, oh damn, because prices are bound to go up. I want to go get tacos so bad. Now there's a new taqueria that looks good for once. Oh, you should get them. I want some nice crispy tripa. Oof, crispy tripas is my favorite. If I could get tacos de tripa at the truck that I go to, I would get it. But they don't have tripa there, so I just live with it. But yeah, tacos de tripa are my favorite. Like when there is like tacos de tripa, I get like 4 at a time. Like for this first order, and then I tack on if I get hungry. I'm sure tripas are good, but I can't bring myself to order it. That's fair. That's fair, man. I mean they are. I guess the idea of it is definitely a little bit. Can be a little daunting for some people. They are yummy though. They are yummy as hell. They're super good, especially when they're done crispy. I think who was it? Jose? Yeah, tacos de tripa. Yum. Burritos over tacos for me? Whoa, really? That's an interesting take. I mean, well, I kind of get it. For some people, like the thing is, okay, I actually did not grow up with burritos. Burritos were a pretty foreign concept to me growing up because I lived in Mexico for like the first 18 years of my life, and you know, tacos were the name of the game, you know. Burritos, like, it was really after I moved to the States when I was like, okay, well, yeah, burritos are a thing here, like up north, right? They're more of a thing, and I was like, well, okay, I can appreciate them, but I don't know, they pretty much satisfy a completely different craving from what a taco can. So I personally am like all the way for tacos instead. When was the last time I was back in Mexico? It's been some time now. Last time I was in Mexico was... when did I last go? It's been like maybe like 8 years, I think. 8 or 9 years now. It's been a while since I last went to Mexico. Because my parents were still there, but now they're not. They're in the States now. So ever since they moved to the States, I had fewer reasons to go. I mean, I have reasons to go in terms of like visiting friends and things like that. But I haven't had the chance to, or just like to travel, which I hadn't done for a while. So I recently went to Japan and Korea, and that was like my first actual international trip outside of like Canada for like 10 years. 10 plus years actually, like 12 years. 11 years. I ordered lengua not knowing it was tongue, tasted great texture, weird ass wife who was just my friend at the time, and she told me I stopped eating it. No! Why do you stop eating it? It's so yummy though. That's the point where you're like, oh well, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat the rest of it. No, you're almost past it. You're almost past the point of like, oh okay, too bad. I guess I already had it, so it's not that bad. Last time in Mexico City was December 2022. Taco Gabriel by the Angel was my go-to that week. Oh, very nice, very nice. Where do you stay? Like near like La Condesa or something? Burritos and I'm a commitment. I'm run away from commitments. Fair. Why does the PCB have little legs? It's not the PCB actually, it's the plate that has little legs. Mr. Piggion, if you do exclamation build, you can find the IC for this board, and it's actually the mounting system on the plate. Basically, it allows you to put little blocks that slot into these little protrusions, and you can basically pick the exact type of mounting block to use for it. And well, since they're all over the top and bottom part of the plate, you can kind of choose where to put it. So you can think of it as a sandwich mount with modularity. I remember this key were having 3 different mounting systems. Well, you can do like solid blocks, or you can do like O-ring embedded blocks, or you can do like leaf spring blocks, and so on. And then you can choose a location for the blocks too. But you could think of it as like a gasket mount. I mean, sorry, like a sandwich mount. My bad, sandwich mount. It's like a sandwich mount with choice of material and placement. Location. Thoughts on EC boards? Personally, I personally still think for me, myself, and really myself mostly, I still like EC boards stock, like not stock, but you know, like modded OEM boards. I think are still the best EC, like the plastic case and enclosure and the solid and ice. But I do think I've really enjoyed the coming up of EC kits in general, like the expansion of being able to do electrocapacitive in basically any keyboard these days. Like you have custom PCBs, you have custom plates, and you have like new domes and like new sliders and whatnot. Like there is so much development going on. It's super exciting of a time for EC, I think. And I think that's kind of changing the mind of a lot of people with respect to custom EC and like kind of like the idea of being able to do this on like their favorite board or whatever it is. And you know, you can obviously choose different materials for the board itself. Like you maybe put it into like a plastic case and whatnot. And so like we're kind of getting to the point where we get custom and the benefits of like what the OEM board looks like. So so that part is nice. I think I like the option being available. But I still like, if I want EC, I just go for like DHKB. But yes, leftover burritos are not great, that's for sure. They like fall apart too. I mean, sure, you can like cut it and like whatever, but I mean, it's still not ideal. Reheat on the pan, bro. I mean, yeah, so many things you can reheat on the pan. I get that. But yeah, generally, if I get a burrito, I'm not gonna eat just half the burrito and leave some for later. That's some lame ass shit. You weak? You're not gonna eat the whole thing? Come on. Why do you even get a full burrito, like a full burrito? At least say you're gonna split it with somebody else and give them the other half at the very beginning of the meal. Don't just leave half. Oh, I'm gonna put it in the fridge. Ooh, gonna eat it for later. No, none of that. If you get a burrito, you better eat the whole thing, or at least make the splits early on and just commit to the piece that you take. SMH. Sometimes you can't hang with burrito the size of a small infant. That's fair. I've seen some of those like wraps and burritos that people like there's like videos of people making them. I'm like, how the fuck does a tortilla like stretch and like wrap the whole thing without getting like melted? Because like you have like sauce and all this shit. It's like, yeah, I feel like it's just gonna like just explode into little pieces. But anyway, all right. Soldering is done. I will like say, I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but these switches do have a little bit of spring ping. So if you hear kind of like a bit of spring ping, it's, I think, from the switches, springs. But they sound like a little squeaky. It's not very loud, but I think maybe it's more obvious with keycaps, or less obvious with keycaps, which would be also good. Okay, so, oh, JST cable. Okay, cool. Okay. Good luck with that horrible quick connect Molex cable. Wait, what do you mean? I have a JST connector. JST to JST in this baggie, my friend. I can replace that. Did I not include the right cable? Why include the right cable when we can just put JST to JST? Ha ha ha! Isn't it great? The bottom of the PCB is Molex? Yeah, but I can just... Oh, this? No way! Really? It's okay, I have Molex cables. I'll go get it. I do have Molex cables. I think it's somewhere over here, actually. Let me go get it. Oh, the bottom of the PCB is Molex, though. Oh, shame. Okay, yeah, I didn't see that cable in here. But actually, let me check the box, because you did have 2 PCBs, right? So it might be in the other side of the box. Maybe I just picked the one and I thought it was the right cable. Don't try to outsmart Molex, he'll find a way. Oh god, that's terrifying actually. Is this my Molex cable actually? Oh, never mind. I found the Molex cable. Okay, I found a Molex cable here. This is just my own Molex cable, I think. Let me get the longer one. Yeah, here. The other end is JST, which we can just replace. Professional keyboard right here. You see. What kind of person wouldn't make mistakes like me? Luxury keyboard crafter. Jesus, horrible. Can I remove it with this? Ugh, it is T6, I think. T6. All right. Why do I feel like this board is the handsome Squidward of keyboards? Look at that jawline. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see. Is this cable long enough? I think it should be. Should be about the same length. Okay, so Molex here. Okay, so I guess before we plug the rest of this in and whatnot, let's think about what to do with the mounting. So let's do this, shall we? Okay, so what shall we do with the mounting of this guy? We need to figure out what mounting blocks to use and where to place them. let's see. So So we can try sort of something. We can try a few different combos. So you know, we can start with, I guess when a lot of people think TKL, I think these days in particular, or you know, in the past couple of years, I think a lot of people will say, oh, top mount or O-ring mount, right? And a lot of people will bring up boards like the JMV2, JMV2CE, the Koala, the Whale, whatever. You know, the 7-point mounting system for top mount. And so we can try that. Maybe we can start with something rigid, like we can use the rigid blocks, and then we can go with non-rigid, and then we can start swapping out things as we go. So how about that? We can also use, we can do Duck 10-point top mount as well. We can do Mech 27, Mira, Moon, Orion V1, V2, 10-point mount system as well, which is basically symmetrical, like, you know, boom, 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 boom. 5 mounting points at the top, 5 at the bottom, evenly spaced, and that's what for a more rigid typing as well. Oh, hello, Mr. Inamoshiki. Mr. Frank, how are you? All right, let's try the rigid blocks. So let's try 7-point first. So maybe I think it was like here, and then I think here. So it's like 3, 4 at the top, and 3 at the bottom, right? And then 3 at the bottom. There's like usually 1 here. Actually, maybe I could be going a little bit more inward here. And then like here, and then maybe like here, maybe something like that. Probably is similar to the 7-point mounting system. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and 7. So in this case, you know, you can just plug that in, and then, oh yes, before I forget, there's these 2 little alignment spacers. Just put them on the side of the plate. These are just 3D printed just to make it easy here, just to help line up the plate on the sides a little better. And then just put them on top like that, so nicely lined up. So this just kind of sits like that, and then yes, so it's like a DIY mounting system, which is pretty cool. I think it's a super neat idea. And then just slap the top piece like that, close it up, and turn it around. Grab one of my screws here. And there's just 4. Oops, I think I pulled up too soon. Did those go in properly? Hold on. that's lined up. I don't think the bottom lined up as well. So let me just double check everything's good. Something is in the way. Oh, I see. This one just didn't get all the way in. Okay, now it's fully closed. Okay. So So right now I'm using a mounting system that is similar to the 7-point mounting that's on popular top mount decals like the JNV2, JNV2C, and so on. But we are currently using the rigid mounting points, kind of like to simulate top mount. But it's really like a sandwich mount. So there's like one point here. There's like 1 point around here, around here, and then one here, I think here and here. So 7 points. So again, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ish. And we're currently using the solid blocks. So, you know, in our menu of potential blocks to use, we have the solid plastic blocks. We have these. This one doesn't have an O-ring, but we have ones with little O-rings inside of them. There's ones with little O-rings inside of them, so it kind of allows translation up and down inside of this. And then there are these leaf spring ones as well. So these ones basically allow for compression from the case, like top and bottom like this, so leaf spring. And then finally there's gasket mount. So you get little bar with 2 pieces of gasket lining the top and the bottom of the piece. So really cool idea. And we first start with a much more rigid mounting here. Let's plug this in. Okay, it's working. All right, so okay, so what keycaps set should we put on this? I guess that's the next question. Look at that cooling system. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. Taiga. Oh, Taiga's a good one. Taiga could be cool. Wob on this. Wob. You wouldn't like this idea? Uh-oh. Hander bite. Terminal. Terminal is kind of cool set too, actually. Yeah. Greg. Hander bite. Panels? Panels is actually solid. I think panels is a cool set too. Panels would work better on this because of the green and like the teal. Pepperbyte, I don't have that. I could only think of Star the first time I saw it. GMK Star. Holy shit, that would be an epic set to put on this. I don't have GMK Star, but that would be fun. GMK BRG. I don't have BRG or Deku. All right, let's do a poll, and I'm gonna veto Sav. Lamp. Bruh. Oh my god. How dare he do that? Key sets. Okay. Someone suggested... You saw the vision? I saw the vision. GMK Star on this particular green, I low-key think it would slap. Oh, love that. Okay, I'll name sets that I do have. The people have written WAB Terminal. I don't have Aurora Polaris. Panels. And Wasabi. Wasabi or Terminal. I think I'm gonna leave Terminal and take out Wasabi for now, just because they're pretty similar sets. I'll put Camping as another suggestion, like the regular Camping one. All right. They're out of line, but they're right. I don't know, man. GMK Stars. I mean, like. I saw the Patrick Star in there, the green mods, the green mods, and that vibrant pink. I don't know, maybe. SA Camping. You know I don't have SA Camping anymore, Luke. I had a set of SA Camping and I sold it on Mech Market a long time ago. I remember the day I listed SA Camping on Mech Market. I had so many DMs or like messages on Reddit. So many people wanted SA Camping back then. It was crazy. I had no idea. Anyway, whatever. It like sold instantly basically, but you know, I listed a pretty fair price too. I think it was like basically at cost, so yeah, it was not even. The vision is there with Star. I have to agree. I have to give it to GMK Star proposal. I see it. I see it. Should have scalped harder. The worst sale I've had. I think I've sold most things at relative cost. I think the one sale that I did that was like, I was like, how could I not sell it? Was when someone DM'd me an offer for Holy Pandas for like some obscene amount that they were going for at the time. I was like, take them. I don't even like them that much. I was like, yeah, take them. Take them. I was like, yeah, whatever. If I was anywhere near you right now, I would personally send you my Domiki watermelon. Watermelon. Pandas got to like $6 per during peak hype. Yeah, something ridiculous like that. I can check. I probably have a record of this somewhere. Holy Panda, right? Oh, actually, I don't have it here. Did I just sell the Invares? Invar? Yeah, someone. How much is that? How much is that per piece? How much is that per piece? Someone was paying like $4 per panda at the time. This was like right before the peak. It's like still crazy. I was like, $4 a Switch, dude. Take them. I don't care. Take them from me. I don't even use them. All right, GMK Terminal. GMK Terminal. Where did I have it? I think I still have it on my 1800, don't I? Yeah, I think I do. Okay, I'll go get GMK Terminal, and I'll be right back. You should buy a Fiel. I actually do have a Fiel, by the way. I have a round 1 Fiel. By the way, steel weight. I do have a Fiel. A purple one. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Let's put on GMK Terminal. I have it on this 1800 board from back when. This is my dedicated GMK Terminal board. Just MX Blacks on this. Let's move them over. Can we hear Fiel Holy Panda? I don't have a Fiel built with Holy Pandas. The best I did at one point in time was build a Clipe with Holy Chickies. It was okay, but I wasn't a huge fan of how it felt. Scammer. Just because I didn't build a Holy... I mean, I've built Holy Pandas with... I mean, I built Fiels with Holy Pandas because it was requested of me. But it didn't... It doesn't mean I have a set of Holy Pandas in the Fiel myself. Is Kiwi around? He's not. He is not around. No. He is still in his. He's still currently hanging out at his I guess second home. He's just hanging out at my partner's parents' place. So yeah, he's just having fun. But yeah, no, he's not here. Oops, wrong position. He will be coming home. Kiwi comes home on Sunday, I think. Sunday, I think he'll be coming home. If I send you Holy Pandas, will you rebuild the fiel? Oh my god. You're gonna make me rebuild my fiel? I'm good. I don't want to. Definitely not like the video. And not with GMK Oblivion with Shishi on escape. What's your top 3 boards right now that I've been using lately a lot? Lately I was using the Polygon 60 a decent bit. I use my HKV a lot. And I think I was using the Daji 84 quite a bit recently. Wow, Diego doesn't want 1.2 million views. It's fine. 1.2 million views for me to tell you that I'm going to become an investor at a keyboard company later on. No, I'm good. It's okay. Alrighty. Ooh, you know, I just realized I have this cool, what do they call them? I guess it's still a gamer kit. Let's put this on. These cool, bro, gamer caps. I think will look nice on WASD like a true gamer. Now I look like a real gamer. Okay, can do that, and then alrighty, and then let's see if I got any terminal-ish caps. Like this one, you can put that on the escape. Yeah, we can put it on escape. And then let's put some bright ass green ones on the right side cluster for fun. Actually, this one's fine too. All right, let's do that. Any McDonald's Sprite anatomy? No, I don't have that. You have one of those? You want to send me one over? That'll be very helpful. Buy mine, one to sell. Okay, Slide into the DMs. It's gonna be like $10 billion, man. Wait, do I have a black cable here? I think I do. Let's use this. Alright, oopsie. Okay. Tree fingers. Hi, baby. Hello. Not a baby, but if you want to call me that, okay. Kind of whack. Alright, let's see. Okay. Oh, what the? That FN? Where was that FN over there? Okay. Oh, something is programmed over there. Oh, what's this program to? Let's see. I need to look at the programming for this. Oh, it's F13. Oh, okay. Let's F12. No wonder it was off by 1. Okay. I was like, wonder why is it playing? Left control. Let's see. Bottom row we have 7U. So I'll do left win, right alt. That's fine. I don't really need anything else. Okay, cool. Oh wait, I missed the spacebar. There. Okay. Done. Alright. Cool. Oh, looks like ads just hit. I'll wait for people to come back from ads for a second. Hi, hope. Okay, that's more realistic. Let's look at it from this side, and also let's bring in the wrist rest that we had earlier. What the hell is the focus on this? There we go. Or did I just already put that wrist rest on this? Ads? Yes, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I am waiting. Checked direct messages. Okay. I will. Look at that. I will directly massage you. Whoa. Whoa, buddy. I put tariffs on ads. I wish. Would make bank. All right. Let's see. Okay. So I think audio should be back. People should be back from ads now. So right now we are using these guys right here. These are the slightly, they're like the plastic mounting points. And currently we have these mounted on like 7 different positions. So kind of similar to like what the Jane V2 kind of like would do. So there's like 4 around the top and then 3 around the bottom, kind of like avoiding the spacebar area a little bit. And so we are trying these ones right now. So 7 mounting positions right now for this. So we can try this out. Okay, so currently built with new Nixies with stock springs. I think Lube with 104 oil. I think I saw earlier. These are lubed and filmed, and so currently on a full aluminum plate and with GMK Terminal. All right, let's try it out. 205 on the slider. Thank you so much. All right, let's try this out. Can't tell if that's spring ping or case ping. A little bit of both. So if you hear a high pitch sound, that's definitely coming from the spring. I can tell you because when I was installing the switches, I was hearing it already. Kind of comes from the switches. It's because it's using stock cherry springs, and stock cherry springs are just not very good. So there's a bit of ping from that. It's sort of like feels like it's rubbing, but it's like metal, so it's like kind of high pitch. So that sound is gonna come from the spring, but there is a little bit of case resonance. You can also hear it. We can go through the mods. So let's go through the mods, and you can kind of hear some of the case resonance as well. It's a little bit, but it's actually kind of like has a bit of personality. It sounds pretty good. All right. So on the top row is kind of very obvious, right? But yes, so there you can definitely tell there's an amount of resonance in the case. More audible towards the back of the board, towards the part that's open, and towards the top row really, where there's a lot more space below the keys. But you can also hear it on the sides, on the mods as well. Not so much on the right side, more so on the left side. I was tossing around the idea of offering a fully sealed rear carbon fiber trim piece. I think that would be kind of nice. I think people can get to play around with that as well. Another streamer did that, and it said it helped. Yeah, I'm sure it would help. I did see, so we can kind of go through it. I've been extra attentive to ping lately because most of my gone springs have been pinging. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, the spring ping on these Cherry MX is pretty apparent. Not as obvious on the spacebar for whatever reason. So you're seeing a good board for clickies? Actually, I think tactiles and clickies on this would kind of slap, because there's a good amount of case resonance. I think tactiles and clickies tend to sound good in cases like that. We can open it up and try to address some of that as well. We can try like force break. We can obviously try different mounting positions for the mounting blocks. So I will say, actually let me fasten this again and flip it around for a sec. So I will say, like, typing feel wise, the typing feel of this is a little bit different from, like, for example, if you expected like top mount. I think this is a little bit stiffer than that, because you do have these mounting blocks just straight up sitting on the case, and these are completely solid, like plastic mounting blocks. and so I definitely feel the rigidity of the mounting blocks just sitting on top of this. That said, because they are pretty small, you do have a little bit of like give towards the middle of the plate, but it is an aluminum plate, so you know it's still fairly rigid. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm gonna break my fingers stiff, for sure. So right now, using like this Jane V2 like esque mounting positions, it's basically stiffer than that, what I would expect from like a top mount there, and it's also like it's stiff, but it's like not like, oh yeah, like it's a brass plate type of stuff, if that kind of makes sense. But we can try some of the other mounting blocks and give that a shot as well. So yeah, like I think the feel is like the thing about this board is that you can change the mounting blocks however you want, right? So let's open it back up actually, because it's easier to talk about it when it's open. So, you know, it only uses 4 fastening bolts here, 1 on each corner, which for now seem all right. But I think similar to the Bias DE that I recently saw, which actually, in a way, I can kind of connect the dots between those two in some ways because of the... Okay, I'm gonna have to flip this around. Okay. So let's open this up. All right, and so what's kind of neat about this is that you can basically switch exactly where you want your blocks. So right now, I'm gonna unplug this for a second. Maybe I'll unplug it from the JST. It's actually a little safer. So these fell off currently, but basically these were, let me see where I noted that down. There was one between F4 and F5, and then there was one between F7 and F8, maybe around here. So let me get rid of that thingy. Oh, goddamn, keeps falling off. But basically one here and one here. So, well, you get the idea. There's one basically in between like around the right alt key. It's just slipping off right now because of gravity. But basically there's 3 mounting blocks here on the bottom side, and then 4 at the top. The 4 at the top are sort of like lining towards the F row, and then 1 towards the scroll lock pause area. And this is kind of similar to the position for the Jane V2 mounting. And so right now we're using pretty stiff ones. So we can switch this up to maybe the complete opposite, which in my opinion, I think that would be the leaf spring ones. So for the leaf spring ones, again, place them in the same position. Maybe I'll mix it up a little bit. Maybe I want the middle to be a bit less stiff compared to the top. So maybe I'll put the leaf springs in between in the in-between sections, and I'll put the maybe like gaskets along the top, or maybe the O-ring ones along the sides. So maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this, and then maybe I want to change it up to like gaskets here, or maybe I'll do O-ring. I'll do O-ring. So for O-ring, I do it like that. So make sure you line this up vertically, so that there is translation from on the vertical end. So like here, and here, actually, between, yeah, between. Is that the right position? No, it's this way actually. Here, and then like that. So you can sort of like change it up like that. Ugh, keep sliding off because I keep doing that. Maybe I'll switch to the top-down cam for a sec. So let's switch to the top-down cam. So top-down cam, right? So you see there are, oh, I missed one of the positions here. So now this time I'm switching these to, there's an O-ring at the corners essentially, and then there's leaf springs on the inside sections. So maybe I can switch it to something more flexible like this. And let's try that. Ugh. Plugging these in can be a pain sometimes. Okay. Okay. Recommend laying the plate on the bottom of the case and slipping the mounts up to the lip on the case. Oh, up to the lip. I see. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I see now. That way these guys don't really slip off, right? And they don't catch on the case. Okay. So I think also similar to the Synovia, or no, the Bias DE. So this case, the way they go too far anywhere, they'll pinch it between the top and bottom case and not close. Oh yeah, that's what was happening earlier, right? So I think it's good now. Yeah. So there's a lot of potential contact points for the top case and the bottom. So like what I did with the Bias DE was apply a little bit of like thin tape. So like you can use like electrical tape, or you can use like any kind to do like force break. And so that helped a lot with the case resonance. So we can try that, for example, right now. I have a little square of tape here that I can use. Right, so let's grab a pair of scissors and just cut small strips, or just one here. Maybe I'll put this maybe I'll put this along the outer edge here. Oops. That's fine. Somewhere invisible along the case. And especially near the screws, like where the screws are located, because those places get really sandwiched up with the top and bottom cases. So I like to just do that. Let me cut a smaller piece here and line them up to the bottom as well. Hockey tape? No, just electrical tape. I did have hockey tape before. Okay, so I just put 2 pieces on the sides like that, and then 2 pieces at the bottom like that. Hockey tape is thick, yeah. Electrical tape is a lot thinner, so. Oh, actually, you know what? This one, the bottom ones are not gonna do much because there's not really much of a place for contact. I'm gonna put them on the sidewall instead. Yeah. because I can see that the points of contact for the case are gonna be near the corners on the sides, because see how this side is like this and this side is like this. There's a lot of like this like flat space where they can make contact. So maybe just a little bit of tape like that, and then lay the case over. Okay. So it appears it closed, except for this part here. I think it's the mounting block getting stuck. Yep. Okay, there. So now the mounting block is not in the way. All right, let's go ahead and screw the rest of the case up. Diego, can I have my points back? Yeah, I'll give them back to you in a bit. Or if one of the mods are here, they could do it, but I don't know if they are, so. I think ODM was here, but it might be busy. All right, so let's try this out now. So, so let's first see if we have a bunch of the case resonance. See, it's kind of went away, right? Or like it's not as echoey. Not as echoey as earlier, and I think that's just because of that piece of tape is kind of preventing a lot of the metal from the side of the top case from contacting the bottom of the case. So, you know, Luke, if you're here, like, if you wanna, like, if you ever made like a build guide or something like that, or if you wanna like help people like address an issue of case resonance, you know, you can always suggest people to do something like that. Put like a thin piece of material between the cases that just you know, kind of like helps mitigate some of the extra metal to metal contact, and so that'll also help address all the case resonance. Okay, so let's now try it with these different mounting points. So like, you know, first impression right away is that it's definitely much more flexible. So especially like I can tell wherever I know I put those like leaf springs, it's like just kind of compressing straight in. And same with the portions where the where those like O-ring little blocks were. So it definitely feels a little bit more flexible. But let's actually test it out in actual typing. So once again, this time we have the same mounting positions, more or less. This time we have a few of these X-shaped leaf springs, and then a few of these like vertical slit O-ring blocks. The O-ring blocks are basically around the corners, and the little leaf springs are near the center parts of the board. So let's try that. Feel free to push up the wrist. The wrist rest, you won't make contact with the case because it has bumpers. Oh, it does. Oh, nice detail. It does have little bump-ons, so you can just kind of put it all the way into the case, which is pretty nice. Wow, it's actually a very very nice transition here. Like you can not really feel that much of between the wrist rest and the keyboard case, so that's pretty nice. All right, let's try this out. All right, softer mounting and a little bit of force break, same switches and same plate. pretty nice. It definitely feels a lot softer. So yeah, I mean, this is actually like very kind of a lot closer to what like a gasket mount or like other mounting styles that are softer would feel like, but still has the stiffness of the aluminum plate. But yeah, it's definitely softer than these solid plastic mounting blocks, which really felt like just sandwich mount. So again, the mods. Pretty nice spacebar. So like, you know, like one thing that's kind of nice about this is like, I think if you are kind of new to this whole like doing your own mounting thing, that you want to first check on is if you press on a certain, like especially like corners or like certain like sections like edges and things like that, if you feel like it sinks a little bit too much, then you might want to move that mounting over so that it's maybe closer to the edge, or you know, closer to that part where it feels like it's a little bit too loose. But I mean, like, I think the usually like 7-point like top mount, or 8-point, or even 10-point, like they're pretty stiff, they're pretty rigid enough, as long as you kind of like spread them apart fairly evenly. But quite nice. So you can kind of see it from this side. It does have a little bit of flex on the middle. You can sort of see that this part here where the leaf springs are located, they'll have a little bit of a give. Same with this area right here where there was another one of the leaf springs. The little O-rings are actually not as they're still slightly stiff. These little O-ring pieces. They're slightly stiffer feeling than these guys here. These guys that are just these leaf springs, like these feel a little bit more flexible than the little O-rings. Might just be because there's not that much space for the little O-rings, like translation for that. But yeah, there is some give to this, but quite nice. One thing I also do notice is that sort of the way the keycaps do fit into the case is they do sink in a decent bit into the case, so kind of does have the feel that the keycaps are pretty sunk into the keyboard case. So you can kind of see from the side profile how like in the caps are. That's just based on the side profile of the board. And so actually can show more of that. So we can show more of the side profile here. So kind of like that, right? So you can see that this kind of like upward curve here kind of shows how much of the caps are sinking. So you really won't find any gaps for your keycaps. But yeah, decent bit of give when you press keycaps, like I mean, like the keyboard plate around here with these little gaskets. But quite nice. Quite nice. I really do like the idea of this sort of modular process of doing mounts in other ways. It's really nifty. Let's do something completely different maybe. Like we can open this up and maybe I can do all gaskets, but this time I can do like different mounting positions as well. So maybe I'll try to go for like a more isolated sound, or a feel rather. So let's try that. This screw needs to come out. I think this one didn't fully come off. You did some real Drua shit today, Diego. I filed down my cherry clip-ins. Filed down? What do you mean you filed down your cherry clip-ins? Like, what was wrong with them? Yeah, so they sit flat? They were not sitting flat? Well, what was the deal with it? Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna replace these mounting blocks now. Take all of these out. This time I'm gonna try all gaskets. The bottoms of the clip-ins have bumps. Oh, I see, I see. Like, you mean the part where it's like, sort of like, you know where like the part where you clip is like not level, right? That part? You mean? Yes? Oh, okay. That's fair. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Red escape here. Then maybe right here. Let's do kind of evenly-ish. Between F9 and F10. And then between scroll lock and pause. So I'm putting, I'll show you guys where I put them in just a sec. And then between down arrow and right arrow. Just doing all gaskets now. You know what? Maybe I'll do, let's do here. Here. Okay, I'll do 8 mounting positions, so show it from the top-down view. So from the top-down view this time, oops, one of them fell off. I did one right here, right of escape-ish. And then I did one between the F4 and F5 area, one around F9, one around the scroll lock, and then right across from it, then somewhat right across from it, right between. Maybe I'll just do it right across. This is just using the gaskets. And then right here near the left alt, and then right near the corner here. Keyboard Twitch is still alive. Hello, Raz. How's it going? Imagine going through all that work. Haha, Cherry MX. I love your collection of wires and keycaps. Do you pick them from all over? Do you have any go-to sources? Yeah, I kind of pick them from all over. There's many makers out there who make them, and so you participate on raffles, or like sometimes you pick them up on Mech Market. Yeah, I just kind of go depending on, yeah, like typically participate on raffle sales and then trade with other people, buy or trade from other people. Just kind of do that. So yeah, it's not, I would say it's not quite like fixed one place. But you know, if you want like easy places to sort of browse, like there is a Mech Market server, Discord server. There's also the, you know, Artisan Trading, I think, Discord server. There's one there where it has many channels where people can post to, and like it's specific by maker, so different makers channels. And then you can always, of course, follow different makers like on Instagram and so on, and follow their work more specifically there as well. Okay, so this time we'll try a little gasket mount. Just make sure that it's nice and flush, and it is. Just tighten this one first. I live in Flushing now. I wish I could went to try all the nice food, but I'm financially recovering from the move in February. Oh, that's fair. Instead, 2 lanes, KB. Wow, Plastic Bits, you have a lot of channel points. I don't think I gave you back the ones from earlier either. But yeah, if you moved in February, that's pretty not long ago. So I can imagine moving costs in New York are obscene, man. It's expensive, especially if you pay like a broker and stuff. All right, so this time with gaskets. Not sure if you're still planning to come up here, but I might have to. Not sure if you're still planning to come up here, but I might have to put a tariff on travels effective immediately. Okay, I get it, Vinkeys. We'll make it work. Okay. We'll negotiate. Okay. But I mean, I'll be coming up to the area fairly often. I have reasons to now, so. Yeah. All right. That fee was cursed, but I'm so happy about my location. That's good. That's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. Congrats on the move. There's a meetup in the summer planning. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll be there. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Let's try this out now. So now we have all gaskets. Let's stop the music over here. Maybe this time we'll do it with the side angle view, maybe. Vince is planning again. Oh, really, Vince? Cool. That's nice. All right, here we go. This time is gasket mount across 8 different positions on the board. Just trying out, oopsie, sorry. Accidentally maximize that. All right, trying out different mounts. All right, gasket mount, let's go. Pretty good. That sounds nice. Yeah, I do think this is the better sounding one so far. We tried the stiffer one first. We tried the slightly more flexible version of that one, and then now we're trying like this gasket based one, but more kind of like more evenly placed around the plate. So, you know, you can kind of mix and match however you want. So, you know, it's kind of up to you. Let's hear the mods. And that force brake, that little piece of there's just 4 pieces of electrical tape. One here, one here, one here, and one here. They did the job of clearing a lot of that case resonance as well. Oops. That sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good, and it also feels pretty nice. So in a way, it kind of goes to show that the, you know, pour-on sandwich, the isolated pour-on sandwich gasket mount, right? That, you know, Keycult use and other like keyboards have used in the past, right? It works for a good reason. It does have this nice kind of like isolated and consistent sort of sound throughout the board. It works well with various layouts as well. So it kind of goes to show that it's like a mounting system that has worked in the past. And this kind of, you know, is a good example of that. But yes, is this board supposed to be a McLaren theme? Yes, it is themed after the McLaren P1. So that's why it looks like this. I came late to the party. What switches do you have in that boy? They are cherry Nixies. We have new Nixies in this. These are Lube with 205 on the slider and with TX films and just a Lube stock spring, I think. Yeah. But yeah, quite nice. I dig it. I dig how this feels right now. I think I'm gonna leave it like this for now. But it does sound and feel pretty good right now. And yeah, that's how it looks, kind of like full with the wrist rest lined up like that. It's pretty clean. Okay, so let's I can show off the board. So this is the wrist rest. So that's what the wrist rest looks like from the front. That's the bottom, black bottom, aluminum, has bump-ons here on each corner-ish, and then it has bump-ons on the front as well to prevent the wrist rest from bumping against the case and causing potential damage or anything like that. There's these 2 little screws to accommodate these 2 polycarbonate pieces here in the middle. And then we have the keyboard itself. The center USB is actually fitting for this car theme. Yes, I do agree. So we have GMK Terminal and this mantis green colored BP1 keyboard, and so that's what the front part looks like. You have a sort of like this curvature going from here to here, and then you have kind of like this inverted part there, and then that's what the front looks like. It has some nice and curvy side profile, so it kind of like goes from down here, goes up, and then goes back down, and goes up again, kind of like in a little wave. And then the bottom and the side kind of looks like that. There's this open portion, so you can kind of see that. I can actually put my finger there and you can see it. We have sorry about all the fingerprints, but we also have the Lbaron board's logo here, with the carbon fiber accent. And the back portion of the board, we have this sort of grilled open portion with the carbon fiber and a centered USB port. with a very interesting looking back rear portion as well, but super nicely done. We have a logo very nicely engraved here in the middle, but overall, you know, so it's quite the looker. Sorry about the focus here, kind of playing around a lot. I can show it from the top once again. Other than the bottom, I don't think there's a flat part on the board. Yeah, it's yeah, there really isn't. There really isn't much flatness to the board. So that's what the board looks like from the top, and here it is from the front. Like, you know, even this portion here sort of like curves down a little bit, and then the side profile here looks like that. So as I said, kind of like two-part area where we have the, so this part here is the bottom case, and this part here is like also like kind of like cut into here, and so you can see there's like two levels there, and the green case just kind of goes on top around it. And yeah, but you get the whole shebang. And yeah, as Lbaron said earlier, they're contemplating also adding like a fully covered portion for the back as well, if you didn't want to have this kind of opened up. But from here you can actually see the mounting block. There's a mounting block right there. There should be one more visible over here. I I did think actually, if you have pets, fur is gonna go in through here quite easily, but you know, if they just sit on your desk kind of stuff. But yeah, you can see another one of the mounting blocks right there. But you know, you can see the PCB from here actually. You can see some of the switch pins right there. But yeah, very nice looking carbon fiber for some accent portions. And the wrist rest. Yeah, so the wrist rest kind of looks like that side profile wise. So this part kind of hugs the front of the case. Yeah. So this part like hugs this front area of the keyboard if you want to have the wrist rest always on. But yes, so obviously it's because it's inspired by the P1, which, as yeah, so Luke is saying, the rear grille on the McLaren P1 allows you to see into motor areas. I wanted the theme to continue with being able to see the inner workings. Yeah, and I think it's pretty cool. I genuinely think it's a cool concept, and I think definitely out of all the car related things that we've seen in the hobby, this is definitely executed in such a way where it really screams that design. Like it really speaks out that design, and so it's pretty refreshing to see and genuinely interesting. The mounting system is super interesting that you can customize it. So I personally think you did a really nice job doing this. Yeah, obviously, you know, choice of switches, choice of plate, that kind of stuff is all personal choice. And you know, the modular aspect of these different mounts is also really nifty. These leaf springs and these gasket mount blocks, it's all pretty good. I think I'm just gonna keep it like this, and just, you know, when I do typing tests, I'll just upload the one that's currently on. But you know, people can always check out the VOD to look at the other options as well. And probably take pictures of the board opened up, maybe. I think that would be good when I do. Okay, so I guess that's all I got for tonight. Almost, actually. Let me... Actually, I'm not done yet, right? I did say to some people in my Discord server that I wanted to give away some stuff. I'll do a couple today, and we can do some more tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm actually doing another stream. So tomorrow we'll be doing the Serdroya by AKB, Alchemist Keyboards, James, who is working with Canon Keys. We are doing a EC build for that actually. That's gonna be at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon, on Saturday afternoon. So you'll see me stream for that one. But again, big thanks to Lbaron, for sending this out. The BP1, really always a pleasure to work with new designs like this, and frankly, really fun to look at new stuff like this. It's kind of refreshing and really cool. So I'm a big fan. I really like it. I like, I'm not like the biggest car guy or anything, so like I can't be like, oh yeah, I would like totally fanboy out of it and buy one, and you know, but the modular aspect and all these things are super cool. So I really appreciate the refreshing look on the design. So this was pretty sweet.